Afternoon all, how we doing? I'm late again, always late. I suppose I should just turn up late every day rather than scheduling it at 2:20. I should schedule it at 2:25. Then I'd be early every day, wouldn't I? How we all doing? Afternoon, Kennelly, Yotko, Crum, Gregor, JC, Peter, FTNet, Novelty, Kenny, Kennelly, Virginia, Mumo, other David, Colonel, Amy. How we doing? So, big moves today. Well, moves today. Still no ADRs. Still no RSIs yet. In the next half an hour, I think we'll probably have some RSI extensions. So we've just had the news for the PPI figures. All came out as negatives. So opposite to yesterday's CPI, so consumer price index going up, producer price index coming down. So that's quite a miss, a 0.2 percentile, and yeah, 0.2 there as well. So it is quite a big deviation. A 0.1 is fairly small, a 0.2 is sizable, but not massive, obviously. So the US dollar has had a bit of a down movement off of it. We may well get some continuation on this afternoon. So things are starting to move. It's good that we've had negative US news. We've been waiting for something to start to drop that US dollar a little bit. Hopefully that's it. So we might get some ADRs this afternoon and some RSI extensions to the downside for the US. So all US pairs moving quite nicely. The yen has started to power up as well. So US dollar yen's coming down quite hard, but all the yen pairs have got a rally off the back of this as well. So as I said, when we get a little bit of US weakness, we tend to get a bit of strength coming through in that yen. So that's all starting to kick off as well, which is good because I've got shorts across the board on the yen. So I'll get some profit off of this hopefully this afternoon. I've got like quite a bit I can take off now. Got about a quarter, half, 3/4, almost 1% that I can bank, which will bring me up to pretty much 3% for the month so far, which is a little bit behind what I like to do, but ain't moving. Can't do anything with it. So this morning's FTSE and DAX trades were clean breaks, both pre-market ranges. We just broke straight up and went. Lovely today. So really nice, easy profit this morning. So I'm up about, can't remember what I'm up actually. I need to look that up quickly. Yeah, it's a nice, decent moves today. So nothing banked so far yet. I've banked 0.63% on the ADR reversals. Aussie dollar yen and pound yen both in profit. I'm going to leave those two running. So that's doing quite nicely. Hedging is in profit. Weird. The overall P&L is green. Normally, is it? Anyway, but that's in profit, so I'm letting some of that run. Hopefully bank some of that today as well. Yeah, so FTSE and DAX this morning, clean breaks, 1.5% I banked this morning off of that. So I've got $300 in the bank from this morning's breaks, which were there. So that was your pre-market range, straight up. Both nice, clean, easy breaks, but we haven't gone anywhere. We've just pushed up back up to where that initial break went on both. So bullish on the UK. Afternoon, Ismet, Neo. Excuse me, I've got a really tickly throat, and I'm sniffing again. I had this cold between Christmas and New Year, which loads of people have had, and it's never really quite left. And today I've got a cough that just keeps tickling my throat, and I'm starting to sniff again, so I hope it's not coming back again, which would be very annoying, but anyway. So afternoon, Brian. So from an FX perspective, again, there's nothing to look at. This morning there was nothing to look at. There's nothing to look at this afternoon. We haven't had any ADRs. There's no mean reversion opportunities at ADR. There's no RSI extensions on the 4 or the hourly to get into. Again, nothing to look at. It's sideways. We're still sideways. All this FX is just all sideways. So yen pairs all starting to mean revert on the moves that we got into. Everything else is just going sideways. So nothing to look at. Literally, it's going to be another short stream, and it is Friday afternoon. So fingers crossed this afternoon. 1 minute to the open. We just get nice clean breaks on everything today. Everything just goes up to TP1 within 15 minutes, and then we'll go off and do something else. That would be perfect. We will see, though. So less than a minute to go. So obviously the US this afternoon, we've got no ADRs yet. Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, we have. We've had an ADR on the Dow. We're approaching ADR on these, but we haven't got there on the S&P or the NASDAQ yet. So the Dow's had quite a big day today, actually. So we might not get a lot of movement. We're just approaching ADR again, retesting that high. So markets rallying, obviously, because the US is dropping. So in theory, at the open, as long as it's not a whipsaw and we continue that US dollar weakness off the back of the PMI figures, PPI figures, we should be going up this afternoon. Certainly coming down at the moment, isn't it? So we'll see where we go. Right, long on the NASDAQ, straight away. No messing about. That was a spread entry, that was. I got spread into that, look. Really, really tight spread on the NASDAQ. Literally, there is no spread on the NASDAQ, look. Oh, no, it did tick up. Sorry, no, it did tick up. That wasn't spread. So long NAS. S&P long, Dow long. Right, so US dollar, drop. That's what we want. Big, strong drop on the US for the first 20 minutes. And no triple hedges like yesterday. That wasn't fun yesterday. Profitable. Every single trade worked out yesterday. For those of you that weren't in the live room this morning, the outcome of yesterday was lovely. 2.24 banked. 3 out of 3. So NASDAQ, we hedged. So we went long, hit the resistance, came back down, hedged short, hedged down to there, which was target. Got the aggressive exit, got out aggressive. Could have ridden that all the way up for a massive profit, but obviously we didn't know that was going to happen. Dow, same story yesterday on the Dow. So at the open, we whipsawed. So got hedged on the first 5-minute initial cash balance, dropped, exit was there, aggressive entry there, exited again. If you didn't get that, you would have got that. NASDAQ, sorry, S&P, same, whipsawed into the hedge on the initial cash balance, dropped, aggressive exit down to there. And if you didn't get out on that version there, you would have taken some heat on this one because you would have got your aggressive entry on there and you'd have taken quite a bit of heat on that. But that was your exit if you didn't manage to get out on the initial one. But this is the beauty of these aggressive exits, because you've got a big amount of profit banked and you've got double the exposure long. You hardly need any distance. Literally 5 or 10 minutes worth of bullish movement gets you out with a nice profit. That's what it's there for. It's get you out quick. So yeah, good moves yesterday across the board. Tricky, but good. Hedged on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a bit whippy at the open. So we'll deal with that one in a minute. We're just trading up into monthly resistance on this Dow. So this is December, the December high. That's January, excuse me, when we came back, which we rejected immediately. We came back up, tested that high again, limit orders triggered. We came up, tested it again, limit orders triggered. This is to the pip, yeah? So that is December's high to the pip, that purple line. We tested it to the pip, rejected, and again to the pip, rejected. This is our third attempt to get through that all-time high. If that doesn't hold, we should get a decent pop, at least up to there. So I'll be watching price when we get up to this high from last week. But if we break this monthly high, there we go. Limit orders just triggered there. Did you see the speed that just came back down again? Big rejection. So limit orders triggering again to the pip. So we know sellers are not happy about going higher. So if we do get through that level, though, we will get a rally. So we'll get an easy target hit. But we need the buyers to step up and bring it today. S&P stalling out at the high as well. We're same level on the S&P. This is that previous monthly high from December. We have tested it and rejected it. Again, tested, rejected. Again, we're testing. If we break, we will pop. We'll get through that high and we'll be up at target. Down to the buyers, basically. We need them to push the button. We will see. Afternoon, Peggy. Okay, there's your 5-minute opening ranges. So the NASDAQ, basically the 5-minute opening range is exactly my pending orders. It's hedged me in pretty much to the pip on that candle, which is lovely. 5-minute opening range on the Dow is bullish. So see if we get a follow through on that. Same with the S&P. No, sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah, no, that is the 5-minute opening range. So I'm looking at the wrong candle. That's your 5-minute opening range. God, I couldn't even see that candle. It's so small. Look at that S&P. So that's your 5-minute opening range on the S&P. It's absolutely micro. Look at that. No volume at all there, is there? So yeah, that's way too small to trade. If you haven't taken the pre-market, you need 70. You need 49 for a minimum range, which is 10% of ADR. That's only 37. That's hardly done anything, is it? So, don't know, but hopefully we get a break long. Afternoon, day trader. Emperor, afternoon. Right, just retesting. Come on, let's get some legs today. It's Friday afternoon. I always hate Friday afternoons because quite often a Friday afternoon you just do that. It just doesn't go anywhere, and it's really hard to get out of hedges on Friday afternoons because it just doesn't get any movement. So it's hard to pick an exit. But S&P is looking like it's trying a new high. Has just made it. There we go. So we're through the monthly. So we're looking to test yesterday's high on the S&P, which is the new high of January. So if we can rally past that today, we'll get a good pop out the top there. So it'd be should be an easy target hit. Although we're at ADR as well. So let's just see what the US is up to. Yeah, US dollar's still dropping. So it's still rallying Euro US. So US dollar's dropping. So got a good chance of getting this break up today. So we just have to deal with the NASDAQ, unfortunately. Okay, NASDAQ new high. Dow stuck. If anybody's got any FX pairs they want to have a look at, let me know. But there's nothing to analyze today because the ADRs are flat and the RSIs are flat. So there's nothing that I'm going to look at because nothing's moving still. Euro US dollar just tells the story of the week. Look. Totally flat. Totally flat. So that's ADR. Yeah, that's the high of the week. Excluding that spike. I mean, where are we? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, so forget that spike because that was last week. So that low there is basically ADR low. That high there is within ADR high. So the entire week, we haven't even hit ADR. Yeah. Dead. Almost like the banks just didn't bother coming back in January. They just haven't bothered. It's like, yeah, let's go and drive the Ferraris a bit more. What's in the cup? Whiskey. Coffee. Coffee liqueur. Could be. Pound yen. So that's on its way down. All yens are on their way down. So pound yen, we're looking at this area here or this area here, basically as a support on the way down. So we got this area, which we hit, kind of tested it again a couple of times, popped down, tested it, came down, pushed through it, bounced off of it, and it happens to be ADR. So downside today, you're looking at last week's high, which is not far away at all now. And then you're looking at ADR for a second potential bounce point. I might take some of this off. If we can get down into profit on this one, I'll probably leave it on. So if we can get down to here today and this position gets into profit, so if that one turns green, I'll probably just bank that one. Same with the US dollar yen. If that goes green, I'll bank that as well. So I'll put those two down there. We'll have these two in profit. And then I can bank that euro yen as well, because that's, I mean, at the minute, I'm, like I said this morning, I just want to bank some money. I haven't banked for 2 days. And I've only banked once this week because the market has just been flat. I just want to get something there while it's there, basically. S&P's out the high. Dow hasn't managed to yet. NASDAQ's on its way as well. Everything is at resistance. Okay, so we're coming up to yesterday's high now. So this area here, watch for a pop on the S&P. Watch for this, see if pop out the top as all the limit orders that are trying to trigger here, or they stop out and flip the other way. Assuming we get through. I do drink tea as well, EMAC, but I tend to drink coffee during the day. I need to keep myself awake. Limit orders are triggering at the high from yesterday. So we want this propulsion gap to hold up. That is actually the propulsion gap, that whole thing there. So this is your accumulation. That's where the break started. This whole area here, basically, we want to act as support. NASDAQ's still doing well. Dow's stalling as well. It's typical Friday, isn't it? Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. So well, these lows are being rejected again. Look, third attempt there. So nice wick down, nice wick down, nice wick down. I wouldn't want to try and get much higher than an ADR. Literally at the moment, if you can get an ADR out of something, job done. Nothing's moving, is it? So if you get something that gives you an ADR of profit, just take it, whatever it is, just take it. Like, I mean, this euro yen is driving me nuts at the moment. That's 127. ADR is 139. I just really want to bank it, because if this pulls back up into here, it's just not worth banking, is it? But likelihood is it could sit there. for another 3 or 4 days. It's just better off just get anything in the bank that you can, because worst case scenario, if it goes into drawdown, it's likely to pull back into profit at some point, isn't it? Because it's not going anywhere. So you're going into drawdown, into profit, into drawdown, into profit. The drawdown's not big, neither is the profit. So you just got to keep banking as much as you can and just take it all and build this pot very, very slowly with small amounts of profit. But yeah, Aussie, New Zealand, lows are being rejected at the minute again. Push up into these propulsion gaps. This is obviously we had this accumulation break. So this is beginning of January. We then slammed down the following day, sat there, accumulated again, broke again, added into it, retested, added back into it. So it's bearish overall, but again, there's no reason for it to be bullish. There's no reason for it to be bearish. We're waiting for interest rates. No one's changing any interest rates. Therefore, we're sitting here going, well, whatever. At some point, we'll move. So just, if you're in something, yeah, I mean, it's just hard to find a way into anything at the moment. But not really going anywhere. Stuck in a long position from an ADR a while ago. Feel like it's a good spot to buy as it's tested the current level. Yeah. So we filled this propulsion gap on the push down. They bought that back up again. So they bought this. So basically, this was a news event. They've retested and rebought that. They've retested and rebought it. They've retested again today, buying it again. So, you know, they're buying this level. You've got every chance of it pushing back up into these propulsion gaps and sitting back up in this range. However, if it breaks down, you'll be looking at the monthly low. That's where I would take an aggressive position if I needed to. If I was in too much drawdown and needed an aggressive, that's where I'd go aggressive from. But nothing wrong with taking another one there if you need to. But it's Friday afternoon, so I wouldn't hold up too much hope for it going anywhere this afternoon, but you never know. NASDAQ's out the high. So the only thing moving is the thing that I'm hedged on. So that 5 minute was an inside bar. Didn't go anywhere there either. We're bullish on the NASDAQ. So overall, the market's still bullish. But we're struggling. We're at highs. This is the problem. We've got a lot of short sellers across all three indices at the same time. So the buyers are going to find it quite difficult to get through today. All sectors will be selling off these levels. So we're going to need a lot of pressure to get through, I think. But if we do, it'll pop. We'll be off. S&P just below its last high yet. SIH found out that the problem with adjusting the TP actually had to do with the VPS performance. Interesting. What to do with the VPS performance, though? How does a VPS... What's the VPS doing that's causing the EA to do things it shouldn't do? Weird. Mumo, I was on the wrong end of an aggressive recovery on SAH after CPI yesterday. Almost bit my tongue off. Like Harper. Oh, that scene is horrible. She was trading non-farm payroll at the time, though, not CPI. So don't trade non-farm payroll. You probably will bite your tongue off. It somehow got stuck. Everything is fine on the home computer with the newest i7 processor. Yeah, like I get the one thing with automation, yeah, it's like anything in life, right? If you are a tradesman, you don't buy crappy tools from B&Q or wherever Home Depot if you're in America, whatever. You don't buy cheap tools. You buy the best you can get because it's your livelihood. Yeah. We are traders. We use automation to trade. Do you want a crappy VPS or the best VPS you can get? Yeah. The crappy one's going to cost you $20 a month. The best you can get is going to cost you $50 to $80 a month. In the grand scheme of things, that extra $50 is going to save you so much hassle. Yeah. Dedicated VPS with 8 processors. If that is twice as much as the one that's got 2 processors, take it. Just chuck as much processing power as you possibly can. This thing makes you money. Yeah. I do not want the thing that makes me money sitting there, possibly having problems. This is where I think all these people that have these issues with MT5 is possibly having their issues. I don't necessarily think it's, I don't think it's the EA. I'm pretty sure it's not the EA, but I'm quite sure it could be the processing. You're running 28 pairs if you're using the market reverse alerts EA, and it's going to need some processing power. You can't run the latest game on a 5-year-old GPU. You need the latest graphics card. MT5 is incredibly hungry, therefore it needs more processing. But I don't know. I don't know what the effect is. What I do know is sometimes it stops. Sometimes I've had EAs be de-initted from the chart. So I go and look at my VPS and like, well, why is the EA not on there? I put it on there, it was running, and it suddenly vanished. And I think it's the CPUs are just going, I need to process this, I can't. And it just crashes that particular run of the EA. Don't know. But yeah, just buy as much as you can. We've stalled out at the moment. NASDAQ's struggling. The Dow we know is struggling. It's rejecting. So we'll see if we can get a run up. So hopefully we're just pulling back, build up a bit of steam and have another crack at that high. S&P's rejecting as well now. But until we're below this, this is your open basically, which is that tiny little candle. Till we break below this low here, bulls are still in control. This propulsion gap is holding at the moment. So we'll see. We're not far away from getting a pop, but we'll see where we go. So US is still rallying. Or rather, the US is still dropping at the minute. I'm going to close this euro yen out. I've decided I'm going to do it. I'm just going to get out. I need to bank something. So it's not a lot of money. It's only 0.16, but it reduces my yen exposure down. It's a nice, quick, clean, easy in and out. Pound odd, that's still dropping. I kind of want to bank that as well, just to make this up to 0.3%. I just want to bank sort of about 1/3% or something. So I'm just going to put a very tight trailer on this one. Just to lock that in as well. So I'm locking in $80. Just need to get something in the bank basically, and just reduce my risk over the weekend. I might take one of these off as well on the US or the pound. So close to take profit, that US dollar yen, but it's no money because of the swaps. I'm going to take that one off and move TP down. So I'm going to hold this and hope that we get this rally started on the yen. I'm going to hold this into next week and however long I need to hold it, and come back and target this propulsion down here. That was my initial area to exit, but it's just not worth any money anymore. So that's in profit. Average is only half an ADR away. Nearly 0.5% banked now. And that pound yen, I'm toying with the idea of taking this one off as well. But I'm not quite into profit on this position yet. So I'd like to see this get a little bit further down, and then I'll probably take that one off later. So I'll monitor that one for later on. 0.6 banked. Why have I just banked that? What just banked there? Oh, that was pound odd. Yeah, so pound odd's just stopped out. So that's banked. So 0.5% banked. Got to take it when it's there. Let those two run. They're the only two on. They're both in profit. US dollar yen, I've got 0.5%. Well, 0.4%. Closing that. So I don't take any more swaps on it. 0.26 on pound New Zealand. I haven't even set a target on that. I'm not going to get out of that. I'm going to leave that running. This is dollar yen. That's the only yen exposure, so I'll leave that on. Even CAD. Leave that all running. So 0.4 banked, 0.6, 0.6. It's 1.6 banked. Oh my God. Going to hedge on the Dow. Hedged on the Dow. Oh, not quite. It missed me. Literally missed me by a pip. Now it's going to hedge. Hedged. I don't really want to sit here all afternoon and manage these. I'm going to have to. So we couldn't get through that resistance. So we're not going to make a new high today. So if we're going to break down, we need to look for targets on these. Right. NASDAQ. Upside target is going to be that high from last month. So if for any reason it does decide to pull back, take a second run up and get a break, I'm going to get out up at the highs. Downside's tricky today. I'm going to go with the low of the day. And I'm going to assume we're going to double bottom the low of the day. So that's only going to be about 3R, I think. Yeah, 3.5R to the downside, which is the pre-market low, basically, which is today's low. So if we break down, it's going now, look. Typical. That Dow, if that Dow rallies off of this. That's right, I let it off. So we're running on the NAS again. So I'll be looking to get out if we get a push back down into there and then get an aggressive exit. So it's exactly the same as yesterday. Dow, downside. Sorry, hang on a sec. Dow downside. Yeah, today's low, I think. So basically this area here, we've got nice support there. So if we get down to there and get out, if it does follow through from that level, we'll probably get limit order triggers off of the bottom. It's Friday. It's unlikely we're going to flush today, isn't it? So I would say downside target there. Upside target. It's not going to be 200 ADR, is it? We're at ADR, so I'd be very surprised if the upside target gets anywhere near, but I'm going to go with last week's high. And the S&P, we're still in long, aren't we? So S&P's are long only, but if this gets hedged, and we'll see what happens. Not getting into the week, is it? Stuck. It's somehow got stuck. Yeah, everything's fine on computer. What was Greg? That was Greg calling. Yeah. Friday, wild swimming starts early. Mr. Secker, can I help you? We may get this propulsion move holding up on this S&P. We might have another run at these highs. Certainly pulling back at the moment. Don't forget the US dollar is going to pull back as well. Pound New Zealand ADR. Something's moved. Is that the one I just got out of? Did I just get out of the Pound New Zealand? No, Pound Odd. Pretty much the same thing, though. So ADR on the Pound New Zealand. So big rundown. It looks like the Aussie dollar and the New Zealand dollar probably both. No. Moving. This is a rally on the New Zealand dollar, driving the pound down. So pound New Zealand ADR. So you could get into a reversal off of this Friday, so it's likely to be fairly light. Failing that, you've got back up at the previous day's low, and then you've got this area here as well, which is 125 ADR. So ADR and 125 ADR area, this whole area here, or rather this whole area here from about 110 onwards. Good support for a bounce. So you can drop down, wait for the reversal alert. It's a fair distance away at the moment. Be better if this pushed down further. If we got further down on that one, it'd be much nicer. Yeah. An alert, look. Hedged on the S&P. Right. So S&P to the upside. I'm going to go 125 ADR. That's 5R. I'm just going to move it down. Usually when you get a pop out the highs, so like pretty much like this one here, when you break a high, what you tend to do is it takes a hell of a lot for the market to break and make a new high, because at highs there are limit orders driving the market back down. So when you get to those highs, you need twice the volume of the limit orders sitting there to break that level. By doing that, you run out of buyers. So what you tend to do is you push through it, and then it's like a stalling plane and it falls back down again. And then it's down to whether or not you get enough buyers to break back through and get that breakout started. So if we can get another run at this level, I would expect to push through and then some kind of pause back to retest this area. So that would be the aggressive exit. Downside. Just because it's Friday, I'm going to go with today's low, which is the pre-market low today. So pre-market low, look for a double bottom bounce and 125 ADR. So looking for a 3R move to the upside and a 4R move to the downside on the S&P. Best I can get today. There's nothing happening at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we just go into rotation on this and just basically do this flip-flop around 2R or something like that. But we'll see. This is coming down quite hard now, so they are rejecting this high. Should have got out of these highs, shouldn't we? So we're pulling back. If this continues to rally, we're going to go back the other side, up the other way. So we'll see. Out 15:45 done. Good job, Brian. Well done. So yeah, those are the hedges. We'll wait for those to play out today. I'll post in Telegram what I do, if I do anything. But right now I'm looking at probably 2% loss. So this month has just been flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. Just this month is just terrible. Still up. I'm up 5%. I'm up whatever I'm up on the other one, 3.5 or something. So I'm nearly up 10% on the month. So it's still looking like a 20% month for the SIH, but it's like pulling teeth at the moment, isn't it? Everything is like pulling teeth at the moment. So 2.5% up there. I only started this week, so just first bank done yesterday. And same with this one. First bank done today. We see where we go. The only other thing I'm going to look at closing out today, if these yens rally today, Aussie dollar yen, I'm very, very close to target, as you can see. So this propulsion gap is my target, which is this high, which is these lows. Yeah, so I'm looking for a retest of that level there. So if we get down to there today, that'll bank. I think that's about $80 or $90. Yeah, $80. So on this account, $80 is 0.3-ish. So that'll be about 0.3. And the pound yen, I'm going a little bit more aggressive on that one. So this one I think is about $120. Yeah, so that's about 0.5%. So I've got potential to bank somewhere in the region of about another 0.75%, which will bring me up to 1.5 on the day. So if we get that rally continuing on that yen, which is going to need that US dollar to drop really, I'll bank both of those as well. And obviously this pound yen on the ADR H1M5 mean reversion, that one I will bank as well. So if we, towards the end of today, I'll be watching. And if we end up somewhere down here, that will come off and go down as well, because that will be in profit. And then I'll just basically carry this lot to next week. Just worried about this exposure on the yen, just because it costs me money. Swaps are ridiculous on the yen. I've got a lot of exposure on. So I'm not too worried about paying swaps. It's cost doing business. I'm just worried about the swaps building up to such an extent that you get back to break even and you're still miles in debt. So I just want to limit this, take as much of this off as I can, because this is money I can bank now and pay and, you know, use. If I leave this till next week, have to take a drawdown control on it, or have to take a second position and then get out of it in a week and a half, it's just going to cost me swaps every day, isn't it? So I just want to get out really of some of this exposure on the yen. I still think it's coming down, but I want it to make its mind up. I want it to come down, not just do that while we're waiting for them to announce the interest rate rise. So we'll wait and see. Right, that's all I've got for you today. There's nothing else to look at. Hedges, so exactly the same situation we were in yesterday afternoon. And what happened yesterday afternoon? Every single one of them hit target, and we got out of every single one of them, and it was a lovely, profitable afternoon. So fingers crossed we get the same thing. It's Friday, though, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, nothing else to look at here today. So I'll be back on Monday. No, I won't. There's no live room Monday. It's bank holiday. So I will be back on Tuesday afternoon. I'll be back Monday morning. So Monday I'll be trading the Frankfurt session as usual, 7:50. But we have a bank holiday in the US, so close early on the markets if they're even open. But I'm not going to trade. Obviously, I won't be trading the US indices in the afternoon, so there's no point. I'll look at the FX again on Tuesday, but I'll be here Monday morning. So there'll be a live room 7:50 Monday morning, but there just won't be one Monday afternoon. I'll be back on Tuesday afternoon. So for weekend, there's no news on Monday. It's the WEF annual meetings. What the hell's that? Oh, it's that Davos thing. Yeah, World Economic Forum in Davos. So there is a lot of talking heads there, but it's more government rather than bank. So, you know, what government says is one thing, what the banks do is totally different. So not particularly impactful. So bank holiday Monday, and then we've got the BOC outlook on Monday afternoon. But first news next week is the claimant counts for the UK, and then we go straight to CPI for the CAD on Tuesday. So yeah, next week, Monday is kind of dead. FGNet, still the problem on my home PC. When I manually close the trade, one trade of the SIH, all trades close. It's your broker. If it's happening to you and you alone, no one else has ever mentioned that problem, you have either another EA running on your computer, that is doing something, or your broker, when you move a TP, is shutting your trades. This is unique to you. No one DarwinX. Well, it's not DarwinX, is it? Because I'm trading on DarwinX. I don't know what your problem is. I really don't. Not you, but I don't know what that is. It doesn't happen. Look. I've just done it live here. I'm moving my TPs. Nothing's happening. My trades are not shutting. This is DarwinX. Make sure your magic numbers are unique, as Whipping Post has just said. If you've got unique magic numbers, I don't know. There's something going on at the moment. People are coming to me with the weirdest and most wonderful problems, and they're new problems I've never heard of in 15 years trading and 15 years coding on this platform. People are coming forward with such weird things at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but it ain't the EA, because the EA does not have the function to shut a trade when a TP is moved. It doesn't even monitor the TP. It has no... in the code, right, the code goes, are we long and have we got any shorts on? If we are one direction only, wait. If we hit TP, close. Yeah, it does nothing. Yeah, the EA doesn't even work on tick. It works on candle close. There's nothing in the EA that works on tick. So a tick is basically a movement. A candle close is when a candle closes. The EA works on candle close. It doesn't make any decisions at all. So therefore it cannot operate on tick. So it's not the EA. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not this. Make sure you, in this DarwinX account, make sure you haven't got a VPS that you opened 3 years ago. You completely forgotten about it. And running on there is some kind of EA that manages trades. I don't know. Either that or someone's hacking your account. I have no idea. Sorry, I don't mean to make a joke of it, but I really have no idea. It's not possible for the EA to do it. So, and I'm not, if it was possible, it would work. This would happen to me. I'm on the same broker as you. I'm doing this and it doesn't. Don't know. I think there's gremlins. I think AI is taking over the world, and it's starting with just annoying the human race just to see what their reaction is when they get confused about stuff. And then they'll work out how to blow us up. And then all the Terminators will come and we're going to have time travel and it's going to be fantastic. After they've nuked us, that is. Make sure they don't hack Russia. I wonder how Nirav's doing these days. Don't see much of him. He started a prop firm. Nirav, he's jumped on the bandwagon with Greg Secker and started a prop firm. They've gone into ripping you off by selling you demo accounts rather than selling you useless retail candlestick trading courses. Because they all worked in banks and they all know everything about everything. I bet they believe in IPDA as well. But yeah, he's basically, he is now... he's got his own prop firm. All that money everybody's paid him to get those special charts with the numbers inside the candlesticks, all that money, he's reinvested it into a prop firm. And now he's going to sell you a demo account, and then he's going to sell you a course to teach you how to blow that demo account so that you'll continuously buy demo accounts from him. He's not stupid. He's very clever. I get an email every now and again from him telling me he's got a new course I should buy. Seems MT5 could be on another bug flu run. Too many weird quirks on MT5 past few weeks. Yep. But I have discovered many of the problems that people have been having are global variables. So a lot of people are having problems with global variables. There aren't any here because this EA doesn't use global variables, but the market reversal alerts EA does. So a lot of the problems people have been saying that they've had, I've figured out. And it's nothing wrong with it. Again, it's not user error. It's just this is a bloody complicated thing and you're never going to know everything. So, yeah. His magical charts are crap if he's happy for people to use them on his prop firm. Yeah, exactly. Ed MT5. Yeah, this is the thing. He's run out of people to sell the course to now. So this is what they do. They reinvent themselves. They reinvent everything. This is what people in this industry do. Because what we do as humans is we are hunting for the Holy Grail when we're looking into trading. And when we've tried everything, we run out of stuff. So then someone comes up with something new, and they just basically have this ability to regenerate the same crap. It's hard work. It would be much easier if they actually learned to trade and traded. They wouldn't have to keep regurgitating crap to sell people, would they? Funny they don't trade, isn't it? Anyway, so market's dropping quite hard. So hopefully we'll get these downside targets hit and bounced. I'm quite conservative today with my targets, as you can see. So I'm not looking for the market to get very far. So within the next 2 hours, we should, if we are going to continue a run, we should be able to get some of these hit. If I can get 1 or 2 of them out, that'd be fantastic, because that'll be a profit. If I can get 1 out and 2 hedges, it's a tiny loss, which is fine. But it's going to be a tough afternoon. So I'll monitor it. We'll see how we get on. And then we'll be back next week. All right. So anything you need, I'll be in Telegram. I'll be back on Tuesday for the US session, Monday for Frankfurt. So have a good weekend. Fingers crossed with these. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.